The things that we've got are quite small. Who remembers who we are? Who's seen us before? What's this man's name? John. Say good morning, John. Good morning, John.
Hi girls, how you doing? I'm very well, thank you. Don't get any of your moms and dads running the comrades yesterday? Yeah. Some of them did. Did your dad? Did he get a gold medal? He got a gold? So he must be Russian? Wow, very good.
Say good morning, Auntie Mim. Good morning, little ones. Let me see a smile. Oh, you beautiful little things. We're going to talk about wild things today. Wild animals and where they come from. What I want you to notice about the animals is that their adaptation, or they are suited to the place where they live. I'm going to show you two big animals and we'll just look at the difference between them. What's this? It's an elephant, isn't it? Where does an elephant live? In Africa. Is it hot or cold here? Hot. Has it got any fur? No. And why has he got these great big ears, my darlings? Why? Yes? They can hear well. That might be an answer. That's very good. So, darling, to cool himself down. His ears, sweetheart, are full of like skin and blood. When he flaps his ears, it's like a great big fan. Okay, do that with your hand. All of you. Can you feel your hand getting cold? So that's what the elephant does. Too much we needed food. An elephant wiggles his ears to keep him cool. That's right. He's got great big feet because he's great big. What would happen if he had tiny feet like a goat? He'd fall over, wouldn't he? So he's great big. And he's got big ears and he lives in Africa. The big trunk too. He smells of all sorts of things in his trunk. Anyway, that's beside the point. What's this? What sort of a bear? He's got a polar bear. Has he got fur? Has he got lots of fur or not very much fur? Lots and lots. Why? He lives in the snow, that's right. And also he goes hunting, so he needs to be, now there's a lovely word beginning with seek. Camouflaged. You're quite right. He has to be camouflaged. An elephant doesn't because he's too big, eh? He could be a pink elephant and nobody would really care. But this is a white animal in a white country. You're quite right. Has he got great big ears like an elephant?
No.
Do you imagine if he lived in the frost and snow and he had great big ears like an elephant? Probably bits dropping off everywhere, wouldn't they, from frostbite?
Hello, bit of my ear down there.
Yes, they would chip because they got frostbite or quite right. So God was very clever, wasn't he? He made the right shape and the right camouflage or covering for the right animal. And of course we know why polar bear's got big feet. Why has he got big feet? So he doesn't fall in the snow. So while we're talking about the animals today, I want you to have a look at them and whether they've got fur or skin, whether they're thick or thin, whether they're camouflaged, so that means that they are adapted to the place where they live. Can you please stand up, my darlings? Lovely. I'm going to ask you to wiggle your bottoms. Can you hear the drums? That'll be nice. That's it. Cool. Wiggle your bottoms. Hey. Living here in God's creation, animals of every size. Some are huge, some are small, some are foolish, some are wise. Animals have all adapted to the place where There you go. Do you know what type of a country America is? It's got all sorts of mountains. It's cold at the top. It's very cold up here. And at the bottom, it's very hot. So we've got all sorts of animals living in the world in America. And what did we say lived where it's very cold? Polar bear. So on Alaska, where it's very cold, we're going to put a polar bear. And up in Alaska as well, we get wolves. You've seen a lovely wolf, haven't you? This is a tiny wolf. I like wolves. And what's this? A moose. And it goes moo. Wonderful. And here are some mountains. There's a special sort of an animal that lives in the mountains. A goat. And he lives on the mountains and he's got tiny little hooves so that he can step on a tiny little ledge and live in the mountains and not hurt himself. So there we've got a mountain goat. And in America we've got these beautiful animals. What are these called? Bison or buffalo. You're quite right, they do have birth names. These are the American bison. They're beautiful. Have you seen Dances with Wolves?
Yeah.
All about the bisons. I think it's going to need something at the back. Shall I try? I just need to make sure it doesn't fall down. That would be awful, hey? Shame I've got... Oh dear. Oh man, you're quite right. Stay. Stay. Ooh, my goodness.
What are those? What are those, schools?
What happened?
Lucky bee pods are landing on the roof.
Oh, that must be a lucky day then. Oh, how lovely. What's this, my darlings? It's actually a walrus. Yes, the walrus, he lives there because it's cold. He lives in the cold waters up there. And here, there's lots and lots of mountains behind New York. And how many of you have seen the Beverly Hillbillies? The movie. What does Granny scrape off the road?
Roadkill.
Rabbits. She calls it roadkill. You're quite right. And these are the rabbits that live in the mountains, the Appalachian
Roadkill
Mountains.
for supper.
Oops.
Could only do it in America, eh?
Rabbits and bisons. And they've got a special lion in America. It's called a mountain lion. Some people call it a puma, but it lives in the mountains in South of North America. And in California, they've got a beautiful fluffy animal. What's this? The brown bear lives in California. In fact, it's now getting so tame that it comes to people's houses and it eats out of the dustbins. Well, the people have come and they've built their houses in the land where the bear used to live. So if the people want to live where the bears are, they must handle the bears. And down here in a place called Mexico, they've got lots of little animals that they use to carry their stuff around. Now, look a bit more carefully. It's a donkey, you're quite right, there we are. And we haven't got any space on here because we've got a snake somewhere else, but there's a special snake that lives in America with a little tail that goes rattlesnake. You're quite right. So those are the sort of animals that live in America. This one's got a lot of fur to keep it warm. This one's got fur, this one's got fur, this one's got fur. It's quite cold there, hey? Yeah, it's quite cold in America. It's the northern hemisphere. I'm going to play my banjo. Have you seen a banjo before? This is a banjo, and we're going to play a sort of country or western song. North America. Okay, can you go yeehaw? Is that a D?
So if you know that north is at the top, what will be at the bottom? South. So we are then going to South America. The home of the Mardi Gras and football.
It looks like it, you're quite right, my
So
darling. You're not far wrong. It is sort of
Always say the best
essential.
lot. That's why you have pudding after your meal. Lots up. Eh? Yeah, it's
There you are. So North America and South America. Now, we were talking about the swamps just now. Round about here in Florida, where the Walt Disney World is, what's it called? Disneyland. There's a lot of swamps, and this carries on into the north of America, of South America, and they've got a great big river that runs through the north of South America. It's called the Amazon, and in the Amazon we get, what are these? Alligators. You're quite right. And the alligators live in the swamps. I suppose there might be crocodiles. There we go. And there's what lives in the trees in the jungle? Lots of monkeys live in the trees in the jungle, you're quite right. And then we have a little animal that goes on the bottom of the jungle floor, and he can curl himself up into a ball when he's frightened. Yes, darling? And nearly, no, the anteater's this one. He eats the ants, you're quite right. You're nearly there. Shall we put the anteater on here? But this one's called an armadillo. An armadillo, and he's like a hedgehog without spikes. No, and he's got armour. And when he's frightened, he rolls up into a little ball. There we are. And in South America, a lot of the people have still got horses. The wild horses live in South America. And in the Andes, the wild horses have got smaller and smaller, and they are now more like ponies than they were before. And in South America, we've got mountains. So what lives in the mountains?
The goats.
Goats live in the mountains because of their tiny little hooves. And there should be somewhere in the universe a thing for this to hang on. Bunny, do you know where the thing for this to hang on is? Is it my fault? On my boat? In the box. The box is over there. Where, darling? Showing around the snake. Does that work? Okay, we have a consensus. It's all right, love. We're hanging around the goat. We've got the thing. Oh, John,
But then that means if you go around the goat, it's going to curl around the goat, it's going to squash the goat. What's he going to do with the goat?
Eat it.
You think that's fair that he eats the goat? Because they haven't got a hook. No, I don't think that's fair either. So there we are.
John.
Is that better?
There you go. You very brave girls. Nobody went this morning. Somebody usually goes. Okay, so there we are. What sort of climate then do we think we've got in South America? It must be pretty hot and sticky, hey? Because we've got little things roaming around the jungle. We've got mountains, obviously because of the goats and the horses. And we've got jungles because there's lots of snakes in the jungle. What's that big snake that lives in South America called? Yes, darling? A python, yes, but they're called boa constrictors. You're quite right. No, oh, fantastic. What's the big one in America? Yes, darling? And a python, yes. Pythons are the same family as the boa constrictors, yes, but there's an adder. No, must I tell you, it's an anna. Yes, I knew you knew. The big anaconda lives in South America. Okay, and there's a little animal that looks a bit like a pig. But we couldn't find a model one. I really wanted to bring a tapir. No, that's in Africa, darling. The one in South America is called a tapir, T-A-P-I-R. And it's got a short nose, a bit like a very short elephant nose. And it's a bit like a pig. And I couldn't find one to show you. I was so upset about that. And they've got little animals that all the rich ladies make fur coats out of. They're called chinchillas. You know, that lovely soft grey coat, and it's a shame really. And iguana, you know what an iguana is? It looks a bit like a little dragon. Porcupines? A jaguar? Jaguar is a very fast cat. A big cat. And a bat. Do you know what a bat is? Okay. Now we're going to do a Latin American dance. So if you want to get up and do something with your feet, then cha 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 cha. Okay, 1, 2, cha cha cha. 1, 2, cha cha cha. 1, 2, cha cha cha. Here among the jungle tango, living in the Amazon. No constricted sloths and ardors, all in the sunny southern America. I am in the Andes mountains, on the sons of the Kangaroo Tango. Oh, my colors and long-haired mountains, my dear nothing ever wonderful. Here's the funny thing I say here, mamas and chinchillas, happy wonders, walking and jaguars, walking in sunny South America. Olé! Sit down. We do want you to dance. We really do, because you're sitting and dancing gives you a chance to get a bit of blood going. So you're welcome to dance.
Okay, let's imagine we're down here in South America. Here we go across the Atlantic Ocean. Yes, yeah, yes. I told you we're saving the best for last. It's like chocolate pudding. You don't have your pudding and then your potatoes and your peas. You have your pudding last, don't you? So we say last. Right, we're going to a huge continent. It's actually a couple of continents. Called Europe and Asia. So we could be called Eurasia.
That's England there. There.
You hide up.
And I've got to put another little country in there as well. That's England. Oops. The rabbits are falling over. Shame, poor rabbits. Yeah.
But you know, you're quite right. England is tiny. And to think that in that little area over there, 250,000 South Africans.
Shame. Our son went over last week. Anyway, England, or Scotland, Ireland and Wales have got some wonderful little animals. My favourite one is this little one. The fox, that's right, he lives in there. Put it there. And this little black and white one?
Badger?
The badger. He's lovely. Who've read Wind in the Willows? Yes, Mr. Badger. He's lovely. Have you got the video? I got the Monty Python version. It's so beautiful. There we go. So that's the wild animals of England. And of course they've got others as well. Let's go right across the continent. Here we've got a place called France.
No, Spain.
Spain. Sorry.
España. It's okay.
And in Spain there's lots of mountains, and if you look carefully you'll see these hares, H-A-R-E-S. They're bigger than rabbits. They're called hares and they live in the mountains. How many of you have been to the south of France? You might have been to Nice or Saint-Tropez or something like that. And just there they've got a lovely place called the Camargue. And the Camargue is covered with these beautiful wild horses. They're called, believe it or not, the Camargue horses. So there we have Camargue horses in the south of France. Up here we've got Germany and inner France. And how many of you have been allowed to read the Asterix and Obelix books? And there's the very fat man called Obelix. What is he always eating?
Cake?
Boar.
Do you know?
Boar?
Wild boar. Yes, he's always eating wild boar, but you're quite right. Somebody said the wild boar, and there they are. There's the wild boar. The pigs. There they are. Whoops. Ew. They're all getting all muddled up. And up here we have a place called Scandinavia. And in Scandinavia there are tons and tons and tons of trees. And there's a little animal that loves living in trees, a little squirrel. And in the north of Scandinavia, there's somebody who comes to visit us at Christmas time.
Father Christmas!
Father Christmas, and what he pulls his sleigh. The reindeer. When I was a little girl, I thought that reindeers were huge. And then one of my friends went to the north and to Finland, and they said, no, reindeers are only this big.
The size of a Great Dane, isn't it?
Yeah, about the size of a Great Dane dog, if any of you have got a Great Dane dog.
That's why Father Christmas needs so many to pull in.
Now we're going across the top, and in a place called Russia, they've got lots of black leopards, and the black leopard is called a panther. There he is. And the panther is there, and they've got a lovely wolf. And sometimes in America, the Siberian wolf, Asia, in Russia, he will turn white in the winter. So in the summertime, he's grey. No, darling, that's a legend. There's no such thing as a werewolf. That's made up. Somebody invented a book. It's like me telling you that I've got pink feet. Doesn't exist. Okay, this is a wolf, and he goes white in the winter. And they've got another thing that's also white that shouldn't be white. A tiger. The white Siberian tiger lives in there. He's got the most amazing blue, turquoise blue eyes. He's absolutely stunning. He does look a bit like a zebra. Okay. Now we're coming down to China, and you know there's an animal that's in China. The panda bear. Isn't he gorgeous? Yes, darling. Sorry?
Katya wants to tell you something about Russia.
Who?
Katya?
Katya, where's Katya? Have you been there? Did you see any of these animals? The wolf. Is it nice and big and fluffy? Oh, gorgeous. Yes, darling? Your daddy came from Germany. It's stunning. They've got an animal, they're going to talk about it just now. There we are. There's the panda. And also in the mountains they've got bears. Brown bears and black bears. And there's a small panther there. And the bear is, I think, the national animal of Russia, isn't it? Katya, is the bear the national animal of Russia?
The big reindeer, yeah.
Okay, never mind. And there's another boar. And in Germany, here, there used to be big forests with lots and lots of bears in, but they cut them all down. That's so sad. All right, now let's have a couple more here. Bears. And another wolf living there. And over here we've got a place called Korea and Japan and those sort of places. And we've got animals swinging through the trees there. Monkeys. And how many of you have seen Jungle Book? What was King Louis? No. Come on, he's a big orange one with long arms. An orangutan. Well done, there he is. There's,
I want to be like you. Love like you. Talk like me. Too.
and of course, we've got to have mountain goats. Yes?
Yes.
There's the Himalayan mountains. And in Jungle Book, they also had tiger. Yes, where did they put the tiger? There's a mountain lion. There's an elephant. Shere Khan the tiger, of course. And there's the elephant. What was the elephant's name?
Colonel Hardy?
Colonel Hardy. Shere Khan the tiger. He's scary, isn't he? I've missed one out somewhere. He doesn't live there. Go there, please. And he can go there. No, because this is a desert here. This is Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. And there's a great big animal that lives in the desert. The camel, he's called the ship of the desert, you're quite right. There goes the camel. What's that, sweet girl? Who? A dragon. A bearded dragon. Oh, you're quite right. He's a sort of an iguana, isn't he? Oh, cool. It's Japan. Oh, good. I would hardly call a reptile cute, but I suppose...
We're a democracy?
For courses. It's a bearded... Oh, sweet. That's lovely. Oh my goodness, look at all those countries. I'll tell you what, we'll do a song and we'll cover all the countries. And most of these countries have a sort of a dance that sort of goes like, can any of you do that with your head? I'm not very good at that. Okay, well can you stand up and do that kind of a dance then? That would be very nice. Yeah. I'm going to play my recorder, but it's got a B flat in this song, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah! Oh dear.
Okay, let's go
North and south.
north and south.
Yes. Where's that thing? Did it fall off? There it is. Hang in there, kids. Not yet. What's very, very north? The North Pole. I mean.
Do you think it's hot? And what about
What's the other end of the
the
world?
South Pole?
Is he? Now, it's very, very cold up north, and I want to tell you that polar bears live in the north. So let's put a polar bear up here. Yes, my darling, but it has to be very cold for polar bears. And I learned something the other day, and I made a mistake, because I thought that penguins lived in the North Pole, but they don't. Penguins only live at the South Pole. Did you know that?
No.
I'm impressed, because I made a fool of myself. Penguins only live at the South Pole, and they live on these very southern tips of the world. I didn't know that. Now, there's a great big creature that lives in the waters around the world. What's he called? A whale, you're quite right. And a whale, the whales live in the very cold water. We've got various kinds of whales here. And they live in the warm water when they have their babies. They come to the warmer waters to have their babies. Whoops.
Rain,
Yes, darling?
if you look at the back, you'll see exactly where they've got to go.
Oh, all right. I haven't got my glasses on, I can't see.
Oh. It's an age thing, sorry. I've got to take mine off, she's got to put
Oh,
it
I
on.
like this one. This always reminds me of Yorkshire. It's called a right whale. Okay, this is the right whale. Where does he go? Okay, let's go. That's the right whale.
Rain, just put the microphone back in. What did you do? How did you manage to do that?
Thank you. It just fell, darling, like the pods on the roof. One, two.
I don't want it dropping around.
I'm sorry.
It's expensive and delicate.
Good.
Sorry about the intermission, girls. These things happen. You'll find life's not so smooth as you go older.
This is embarrassing. I can't see the girls now. I can't see you, you can't see me. Okay, let's go put the... Can you hear me?
Why didn't you just put the belt over the blouse? I mean, what difference was it going to make? Oh.
Thank you for defending my honour. Where was I? Oh, we're looking at the whales. That's a right whale. Now, the right whale is a baleen whale. And the baleen is this stuff in the mouth. The baleen goes, and he opens his mouth, the baleen goes like that, and it stretches. And they used to make corsets out of baleen, and it's like it looks a bit like strips of plastic, but it's not. They made, have you seen those great big skirts the ladies used to wear? They were called whalebone skirts, and they have baleen in them. But nowadays we use plastic, so we don't have to kill so many whales. This one is called a blue whale. Okay, and John says that the blue whale goes here. Right. Now the whales, they live in the warm water when they have their babies. And this one is a sperm whale, and the sperm whale is down here. Cold in the water, but they've got lots of blubber. So this is the one that's left over. This is the humpback whale, and he must go up. Yes, darling.
I'm Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo's got a lovely whale. There we go. And the whale comes down into the warm waters, and she has her babies. And she stays there for 6 months, and then the baby and the mummy, they go up to the cold waters. And they feed off tiny, weeny little animals called krill. Can you say krill? Krill. K-R-I-L-L. And in the cold waters, at the top and the bottom of the world, there's billions and billions and billions of krill. And the big whales go up there. I want you to imagine that we're very, very, very cold. Can you do this? Where the weather's always cold in the different types of seal. Lots of fat to keep them warm, while above the seabirds swarm. In the icy waters deep, whales their hunting vigil keep, feeding off the tiny krill, while they dive and grow at will. John, can we go somewhere hot now, please? Thank you very much.
Where do you think it's warmer than at the South Pole? And don't say Africa. If I say the word shine,
Shine.
Australia. You mean Australia? You have. So you met Shane Warren. Keep in touch with him.
Australia.
That's what my baby school.
I love it. New Zealand.
And there's the All Blacks. They didn't want to the rugby again.
There you go. Now, New Zealand's quite cold, so they've got seals and things down there in the coast cold waters. But Australia is very hot. And in the desert, they've got two different kinds of animals jumping around all the time. Kangaroos, and what's the baby called? A joey. And there's another smaller kangaroo. Does anybody know what that's called? It's not a kangaroo, it's called a
Wallaby.
wallaby. A wallaby. So in Australia, we've got kangaroos and wallabies. They've got all sorts of weird animals there. They've got duck-billed platypuses and koala bears and echinus. All sorts of wonderful things that I can't even pronounce. Where does this go? And they've got dogs, but they don't call them dogs in Australia. What do they call them, darling? Yes? A wild dog, yes, but there's a special name for an Australian wild dog. Darling? A dingo, is that what you said? Well done. A dingo is the Australian wild dog. And they've also got things there called possums and bandicoots and what's this? Crocodile. How many of you have seen the movie Crocodile Dundee? Have you? I love Crocodile Dundee. He wears crocodile skin on his hat. There we go. And I love Crocodile Dundee once said something about people who fight. If you've got something like a land and you're fighting over it, he said, my goodness, he said, it's like two fleas fighting over who owns the dog. Yes, very, very true. How many of you have got a right foot? And how many of you got a left foot? Do you know the difference? Okay, let's see. Stand up. Okay, jump to the left. Jump to the right. Left and left. Right and right. Jump to the front. Jump to the back. And wriggle your bottom. Doing the kangaroo tango. Are you ready? Here we go. Jump to the left, jump to the right, left and right and right. Jump to the front, jump to the back, bring it bottom, doing the kangaroo. Tell me this dance, living the girl in Australia. See the duck-billed platypus, koalas and echinus, doing the kangaroo.
shouted.
We've been to New Zealand. Yes, we talked about the seals living in the cold waters of New Zealand.
You were watching the corporates yesterday and you're still exhausted from watching the corporates. This lady in India, we used to know her when you were born. She lived in New Zealand, so it's including about New Zealand. But shall we get back to Africa? See, I made it a nice orange colour. Do you like it? Yeah.
I think it's a lovely colour because most of Africa nowadays is desert. It's not supposed to be. What lives in the desert? We've already said what lives in the desert. The camel. And there's a big desert at the top of Africa called the Sahara Desert. Yes, you're quite right. There's a black and white tiger there, but what's our black and white animal called? The zebra. There's a zebra, you're quite right. And we've got the biggest bird in the world in Africa. Oh, I thought we were open to debate. The ostrich, and the tallest animal in the world?
The giraffe.
The giraffe. We've got the biggest and the best in Africa, that's for sure. Whoops, the giraffe. And the king of the jungle?
The lion.
The jungle, and we've got black and white rhinoceros. And we've got somebody who does the mud.
Mud, mud, mud.
The hippo. My little girl used to call it a hippopotamus. And the biggest land animal?
The elephant.
That's the elephant. Look at that! And living in our waters, we've got the biggest fish in the sea as well. The shark lives in our waters, you're quite. Oops, where's the shark's one? There he goes. And we've got the most beautiful small mammals living in our waters. The dolphins, you're quite right. And then there's this lovely fish. Isn't there a stingray in Nemo as well? Well, you know what? I think before we go any further, you can give John a big clap because he made them.
Oh, thank you.
That looks stunning.
Siapa yang baik lagi kali
But I think we ought to sing a song for Africa, don't you?
Yes.
Do you know what I did? I took the names of the animals and I tried to find out what the name rhymed with. So I thought of the word lion and I said, well, you can rely on a lion and you can prickle with a porcupine or you can share views with the bees. Okay, so I'm trying to find the word that sort of fitted the animal. But what I'd like you girls to do, can you ululate? I said that at a pub in Yorkshire, they said, you are a lawyer. Ululate is, yes, I knew you could. And can you do an African dance for me? Yes, come on, stand up, have a good time. Okay. I'm going to play my guitar. Somebody said it was a tigar the other day. This is the ones that put their words. A tar, sweetheart. Okay, I'm going to plug it in. Okay, and you dance, and you sing, and you cover. Whoops. Come on, plug. 1, 2. I'm just trying to get myself organised here. because they're clever, that I didn't do a song for Europe. There were so many different countries. There's Greece and Hungary and Switzerland and Germany. So I've written a poem, if you're interested, but it's far too long, far too complicated to do with it this year. Okay. We're going to finish up now. How many of you know
Sounds.
the sounds that the animals make? John's going to make a sound on the computer, obviously on the CD player. And we want you to tell us what animal makes that sound. Can you do that? It's a lion roaring.
This one's a bit more difficult.
Listen with your ears, and if you know the answer, put your hand up. Don't shout.
They said hyena. They were right.
What was that, my love?
They were hyena.
No, hyena. Well done. We haven't got a hyena.
John.
It's a hippopotamus.
On a bad day. Okay, this one's a bit more difficult. Let's see this one. I'll give you a clue. He's got a big horn and a smaller horn. Rhino.
Right, that was a hard.
They're awesome, Miriam. You have to test the brain cells here too. Okay, this one is quite. Okay, this one we can think of Asterix and Obelix.
It's a warthog, yes, I was just giving you a clue.
Or a bush pig.
Or a bush pig.
This one lives in the trees.
It's a monkey. It's just amazing that a monkey actually barks. You know, everybody says monkeys go woo, 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 but they don't. They bark more like dogs.
This one is easy.
This one's easy, says Josh.
This one, you might not have heard it.
A rattlesnake.
This one, you must know.
A donkey.
It's a wolf.
A wolf. Oh, sorry. Well done. Well done.
Okay, this is an easy one. Okay, you know that one. Now, let's go to the sea and see if you know this one. Dolphin, they were right. It's a dolphin. And let's see, this one is very much bigger than a dolphin.
You know your sounds. Any more love?
Now, this one doesn't make a noise, but if you see him, okay, now a quick question. When an animal dies, what is the first thing that comes to the animal? If you don't know, listen to this, and you will pick up the clue.
Not a shark. Flies. The flies are the first thing they gather around. Well, I think we've had a lovely morning with you girls. You've been absolutely lovely. Thank you very much. What I was going to wonder, do you know the Zulu word for animals? Yes, darling? But what does animals, what's animals? Isilwane. You know that one?
You knew that, yeah?
Isilwane. You know that one? Yes, Isilwane means animals. So we're going to sing a song. It goes, Isilwane. Or whatever the tune is. I got it right. I'm sorry. Lucky me. Isilwane. And you can dance. And I'm going to say some animals. And then I want you to go, Isilwane. When I point to you. Okay, try it. I didn't put it in, but somewhere I've got all the Zulu names. Imfene. What's Imfene? And Inglovo. Elephant. And Indlulamiti. Yes? That's a giraffe. And Imvubu. Hippopotamus. But I've got them here if you want to purchase that. I think you've got books, I'm sure, don't you?
But you all speak
Yes. Did we give you the book of the words last time we did the show? You should have it because I think we would have given it last time. But have a look, and if you haven't, you've got one. Thank you. Okay. Say thank you, John.